Hello, and thank you for joining me. I wanted to touch base with you on a couple of things. First off, I'm excited for tomorrow, which is Elisa is going to be speaking, and she has a great message for you that you're going to really want your friends to hear. And I look forward to you joining with us tomorrow. Of course, 10 a.m., therocksealbeachlive.com, or also going directly to our YouTube, The Rock Seal Beach, and also on Facebook Live there at The Rock Seal Beach's Facebook. Don't forget to click share. Be ready to click share. Be praying and thinking, who is it that I can share these live stream online services with? So I'm going to talk to you real quick about 1 Corinthians 15. We read that 3 days ago in our daily reading. By the way, I want to tell you something. If you've run out of these, our Solid Life journals, there it is. Of course, my reading, which you get in the back, the daily planner there that's in the back. 3 days ago, we were looking at 1 Corinthians 15. It's great how you can see right there, not that you might be able to see there, but it gives you whatever the day of the month is, you go straight to that date, and there's your reading. You open it up, and it tells you exactly what to read, and we're all on the same page there. And some people, I know you've run out of these, and we have a box full of them, and we could get one to you if you want to let us know at sealbeach@solidlives.com. These were packed months and months before coronavirus, and they're still in the box, and we've discovered a box. So let us know if you need one of these. We'll get it to you, okay? So email sealbeach@solidlives.com. If you're within driving distance of Orange County and LA, we're going to hand deliver one of these, or at least box deliver, and you can take it out of the box. How's that? So that's a pretty good offer, but I'm going to read something from 1 Corinthians 15 from 3 days ago. My encouragement to you is keep your daily readings going. Keep moving forward on the Word of God. And the reason why I say that in particular is you need to be hearing about the grace of God more and more often at the moment. No doubt, because we're needing to have grace for one another, but we're not going to have grace for other people if we don't have it for ourselves. And so I love reading in 1 Corinthians 15 here in verse 9, 10, 11, because Paul's talking about how he's the least deserving of grace, but he's received so much of it anyway, and in fact it has propelled him in difficult times. And so we'll have a look at this, 1 Corinthians 15, 9, 10, and 11, and just see what the Lord may be saying to you about grace right now. Firstly, to receive it for yourself. You need to be bathing in grace right now because we're all in tight, confined quarters, and we're also not producing at the same level we're normally used to producing. And so we get down on ourselves because we're made to produce. And here's another reason why I know things are going to open back up again, is God made us to produce. So he's not going to allow us to be isolated where we just aren't producing anything. That's not how he made us, and he's not going to allow that. Let me tell you something. And so, but my belief is that we need to hear something fresh about grace today that's going to help you and therefore help others who are around you, because whatever you've received, you're meant to give away. You're blessed to be a blessing. So we need to receive grace. Have a look at it here. He says in verse 9 of 1 Corinthians 15, "For I am the least of the apostles, who am not worthy to be called an apostle, because I persecuted the church of God." Like he's saying, I've got a past. He's saying, you got a past? I got a past. Let me tell you. I persecuted the church of God. And I've got a past too, but I'm thankful I don't have that is said about me with my past. And maybe that is said of you. Maybe you persecuted the church in your past. Even you can be refreshed by Paul's words today. He's saying, listen, God saw me do even that and said, you're exactly who I can use. Someone with that kind of passion coming against me, God comes along and says, I'm going to grab a hold of you, Paul, and I'll use you powerfully. That's the kind of God he is. Listen to verse 10, what happens after that though. But by the grace of God, I am what I am. So he says, verse 9, I'm the least of the apostles. I'm not worthy to be called an apostle. I persecuted the church of God. Verse 10, but by the grace of God, I am what I am. I've become a new person, and the reason because of that is the grace of God. Then he says, and his grace toward me was not in vain. So he's saying it wasn't wasted though. I did receive grace, but I didn't just spoil myself with it. Something happened because of it. He says it wasn't in vain, but I labored more abundantly than all. So he received grace more than others, and then he was able to go labor more than others. There's a connection here. Grace propels you. Grace makes sure you're not slowed down. Sometimes I can feel like I've got a big anchor's dragging in the sand underneath. Something's pulling me back. And oftentimes it's because I'm not operating in grace lately. Grace is a great motivator. It's a great propellant, so to speak. And he's saying, the grace toward me was not in vain, but I labored more abundantly than all, yet not I, but the grace of God which was in me. He's saying the grace that was in me was pushing me forward. And I was able to labor for things that I never labored for before because of the grace of God. It is key that you're asking the Lord for his grace. He says, come boldly before my throne of grace. So in other words, he says, I rule from a throne, and that throne is called a throne of grace. Come boldly before me because of that. And then we see Paul saying, I can now labor more abundantly because of it. And right now you say, I can't labor in anything. I'm isolated. And one of the greatest laborings right now is the giving away of love, the giving away of patience to others. We've heard some messages on fruit lately. I spoke one, Jason Martinez spoke one about fruit. And you may say, fruit, how can I produce anything right now? Giving away the grace of God may be the greatest fruit that you can do right now. Giving away what you've received, being graceful, being loving. You're not going to get it right. You're not going to get it perfect, but you've got to give yourself a break lately so that you can also give others a break lately. How do you do that? Receive the grace of God in its abundance, not a bare minimum portion. Same with Paul. He received it in its abundance, and then his life became abundant in what he achieved. And Verse 11 says this, therefore, after all of that, but the grace of God was doing it in me, therefore, whether it was I or they, so we preach, and you believed. So he goes on to add this as well. Here's what the grace of God eventually gets you to do. It gets you to preach. It gets you to tell other people about Jesus. That's all preaching is. It's not standing in front of a pulpit and you open your Bible and you have a microphone and so therefore now you can preach. No, preaching is just telling other people the good news about Jesus and about how amazing he is and about how graceful he is. And so he says, therefore, whether it was I or they, so we preach and so you believe. So he's saying grace got me to be someone who opens my mouth about how good God is, and then it caused people to believe. So you may say, I don't feel like I deserve grace. Listen, other people's salvation depends upon you receiving it. Paul had people who believed because he preached, and he preached because of the grace he received. It's not about me that I receive grace, though it does feel good. Man, does it take some load off. It's not about you, but man, does it help you get propelled when you would have been stuck in the water. But it's also about those others that are coming your way that you are going to feel so motivated for to go reach them. So let's be encouraged by 1 Corinthians 15, 9, 10, 11. Will you go read that afresh and have a look at it for yourself? See what God's saying to you. Make sure you're bathing in the grace of God. And every week you're going to be hearing about the grace of God. There'll be different teachings, but always the grace of God is foundational to what we preach. We know Jesus came full of grace and truth. He said that, full of grace and truth. So we want to get to you the truths of God, but always with the grace of God in mind. And we want to get to you the grace of God, and the grace of God helps you to understand the truths of God. They go hand in hand, and there's the perfect picture of Christ. So God bless you. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Don't forget Solid Life Journal if you need one. Don't hesitate. Just go. I'm going to email them, SealBeach at Solid Lives, and we'll get one to you straight out of the box. All right? So that's a pretty good deal. But please make sure 10 a.m., therocksealbeachlive.com, that you tune in, because it's going to be special this Sunday, a unique message that Elisa has that the Lord's given her. So God bless you. I'll tell you one more thing. Our Zoom rock groups have been taking off, and we're going to be advertising where they all are, who you can get in touch with to join in on one of these rock groups, because people are saying, during the week, I want something, I need something, someone to connect with. Can I? Who is there? We're going to let you know this Sunday, the Zoom rock groups that are still ongoing, and that's exciting, so make sure you tune in for that. God bless you. Thank you so much for checking out this video today. Bye for now.